Welcome back to Seasons, a devotional series based on my book by the same title. But you don't need to go and buy the book unless you'd like to, and if so, you can find it on Amazon. The title of the chapter in the book we're using as a base of our discussion is, I Told You Twice, Isn't That Enough? You've probably heard this old chestnut of a joke. A wife of 25 years goes up to her husband and she's upset. You never tell me you love me anymore. His response, after a bewildered look, was, I told you the day I asked you to marry me that I loved you. I told you the day we got married, just for good measure. If I change my mind, I'll let you know. That type of inattentive and outright neglectful behavior is something that we wouldn't tolerate. But unfortunately, sometimes we lean towards that way if we're not careful with the Lord. That came to my mind one time during a time of worship on Sunday morning. I was tired, I was in pain, and I was sleep deprived, and my mind was wandering everywhere. Can we say squirrel and shiny thing? I was also distracted by just about everything that was going on in front of my eyes. A sweet little girl in her mother's arms, a young couple that were just engaged, a noisy 2-year-old having a great old temper tantrum. And then I noticed a friend who I hadn't seen in months enter in the back of the church. I thought, great, I've got to go say hi to her during the break. All the while, all these thoughts were roaming around in my head. I was singing along with the rest of the congregation. Mid-song, I heard that familiar, wee, small voice deep down in my heart. It appeared my lack of focus got God's attention. I didn't sense he was angry or anything like that. I sensed a bit of amusement, if anything, in his tone. Excuse me, I hate to interrupt your thoughts, but isn't this time between you and me right now? Remember me? Yeah, that's me you're singing about. There wasn't a whiff of passive-aggressive condemnation in his simple request for me to pay attention. If anything, he was playful. I apologized, and I looked towards the communion table at the front of the church. It was the symbol of the greatest demonstration of love that any groom could bestow upon a bride, his sacrifice on the cross and his victory over the grave. Jesus clearly demonstrated his everlasting, unwavering love for me 2,000 years ago, and he does so every single day of my life. I felt his forgiveness, and I also felt an invitation to draw into closer fellowship with him. It was all that he was asking of me that day. God doesn't hold resentment or bitterness against our inattentiveness, but his heart aches for intimacy with us. He created us to be in heart-to-heart relationship with him. He doesn't need my love to complete him. He's not needy. However, he longs for all my heart, all my mind, and all my undivided attention as he calls me to draw close to him. He created me with a God-shaped hole in my heart that can only be met by entering into that place of holy intimacy with my Creator God. As I mentioned earlier, God is complete within himself. However, it delights his heart when his children and his creation give him their undivided attention. And why does he do that? Because he wants to show himself the answer to all those situations and distractions that might be going on in their lives.